in this match so far. So now, coming down to overpass, in my heart of hearts, I think probably 16-12 Astralis. But 16-12 Astralis, I think that's a very malleable scoreline. I think, you know, again, a game of inches, a game where Liquid could easily, with those clutch situations, with some better setups, win the game.
I think Chad said it best. It's the pivot rounds, the high-octane moments, the pressured situations, of which currently we're in one. The first opening pistol, Stewie, he was hiding. He was hiding behind the barrels this entire time. He creeps out from the smoke like a goblin, and he just stops the bomb plant. Now this is super key because it enables Naf to come in from behind and catch matches. Oh, he's not gonna get another because Glaive finds him. 2v2 Mohan.
A travesty as Glaive is able to get that kill. An amazing flick, like 45 degrees sharp on the button, and that puts it back into a 2v2. Twist is low.
Glaive is near. Just crouch walking out past ramp. CT's closer towards the water side. You've got Twist in the back line because he does only have that 13 health. Stewie, who started off this whole situation and does hold on to the kit, is the one who gets next contact. Just looking to pop the noggins. Astralis, they get him back though. It's Device with the kill and Twist with the clutch attempt at a distance on the USP, and the bomb will certainly be planted and not even needed, folks. It is the kills to come in for Astralis. They pick back up their pistol, one that looked like they were gonna win from the get-go.
Yeah, it did, and you know, Glaive, a key component in those last few moments to put the bomb down, to bait Twist into peeking, to have Device on the side to be able to peek out, get finished, and complete that 3K. The first two are fantastic shots as well, and it looked like there for a moment with Stewie stopping that bomb plant. Oh my God, that just is even more insane than. And like, imagine he dies 2v1 in the favor of Liquid, easily around they win. So really ridiculous stuff by them. And I imagine that's something like Device reacting to it. But now we're into an anti-eco. Liquid are, and you call it an anti-eco, but it is kind of anti-force. Lige has a scout, Twist has a deagle, and there's a couple of CZs on the board. Utility, sparse, but still relatively decent for Liquid. There's options here for them to implore. And they're on the CT side, so they'll most likely have to move less. There won't be any fakes in store for them.
Plenty of smokes back to CTs. A gliding Stewie 2K will be caught in the end by the UMP. Glaive with a grenade in hand has to be cautious. Twist is near with that deagle. So deadly, but doesn't pay off. Naf, all the while, still inside of these smoke grenades. And you can see with the spam, they have an inkling as to him being here, but oh my God, he's gotten past it. Oh, he just gets shanked in the back. Dupree slices and dices the Canadian wide open. 3v2 to the favor of Astralis. Nitro's gonna come down from Graffiti. Teammate just by his side. That's a scout and a USP for the two to try and work with. The bomb's been planted, so the job now infinitely harder.
No bullets left over there. Dupree just had to swoop in for the knife kill. There's no other option for him to use. There's Nitro to try to jump spot. There's not gonna be a T in sight. No easy option to take out first. A peek is made, and Zipix is the one who comes out on top. Lige will now be forced to save. He's got a lot to lose. He's gonna fall back now with the scout. His flash and smoke, I think, if I'm reading that correctly, and then we'll move into the next round. He can recycle this. They'll probably upgrade or half upgrade. And there were a number of SMG kills, excuse me, to go to the UMP, to the SMGs in general, and that's a lot of money that Astralis are taking to the bank. Clean rounds so far, excuse me, for Astralis, both on the B site. And here's Stewie, Fluey 2K sliding across Monster, and Dupree just, basically forced to use his sword. He would never do it. He would never do it if he had the option.
2 rounds though, where you know, some cheeky play from Liquid, whether that's Stewie inside of the smoke on barrels, or in this case, Nafly just amidst the smokes on short.
Yeah.
You know, trying to throw a real wrench into the works, like working with their minimal investment, obviously off the back foot, but still trying to make the most of it out of just being unpredictable, being cheesy. But there's some head cheese for you. Elise just gets splattered on the back of Party, not having too much fun.
It's not a triple boost we're seeing, yep, but it dissolves quite quickly. Straws here, lots of players outside towards bathrooms. Slow rotation from the CTs back up into CT spawn. Try not to make their presence known. They haven't heard footsteps above them either, so gamble read as we move almost into the minute mark. And it'll come down to whether Astralis just kind of run into this. They're gonna hide the boost. They're gonna keep an extra player on Optimus. and hope that the prying eyes of Astralis come their way.
This is one of those examples where, one flashbang can be a world of difference.
Definitely.
That's going to be Nitro here priming it. So off that pop, you'll have the peek, more than likely from twists, and the activation of the totem pole.
I mean, they're in the sight. Bomb could actually turn tail and run, so depending on how these kills go, could change the course of the round.
And Twist's position still unbeknownst to the player on the bomb site. He's going to run over towards Bank. Sure enough, gets away. Doubles back with that MAC-10. Kills Twist. Naf dealing additional damage, but Device is going one better. Clearing out the Bank and really nullifying the threat here as Bomb comes in tow. 15 seconds left, though. And Nafly, well, he's going to charge forward. We saw a great interview with Twists after their round 5 game where, there's moments where you just have to make a move. If you do nothing, then you'll get nothing.
Sure.
And even if doing something will cost you your life, you're trying to create disruption, and here you have that, of course, on the A site.
100%, right?
Get it to the dwindling seconds.
You cannot be worried about what people are going to think about it if you fail.
Right.
It's a loser's mentality. You do it because you believe it's the right decision, and depending on the circumstances, no matter what the risk, just because you believe that is the correct decision, and then you go from there. That's a true winner's mentality, for sure.
And I think that round's completely different if somehow they keep Device from getting inside of Bank. If Twist was able to cut him off when Naflight gets that first kill, world of difference. But that's all behind us, folks. 3 rounds deep, all of which belong to Astralis. Now, this is where men are made, the gun rounds. Nitro equipped with the AUGs all over, utilities there, and so is Astralis, clumped up outside this B site.
Number of CTs just owning the perimeter of the map. We know Astralis have an affinity for B here. They're going to take short control. They're going to throw all their smokes from there. They're going to do monster walkouts, and that's not going to be a secret to Liquid. The difficult part is actually stopping them. Stewie had a small moment where he could have gotten that kill for absolutely no cost, and now he's actually gotten his teammate to smoke this off, so... Or no, he releases his own. Good counter flashes as well to quell the rush.
But he's still pinned in. He's being given some space to actually, what it seemed like, eject. Gets caught in the process. Dupree doubles down with the headshots, finding Naf in the heavens above. Clips his wings, and now it's Twist to try his hand, but Device gives cover. Dupree, excellent entries, ×2. And a trade frag back that gives Astralis a very strong after plan. At this point, seeing as it's the first full investment, Team Liquid tuck tail.
Initially looked like Stewie had his teammate smoke it, but it looked like he released his own smoke, and I was thinking, Astralis are almost certainly going to wait this out, knowing that Stewie's crouched in that corner, but since he used his own smoke, it seemed like he was worried that it would dissipate, they would molly him out of that position, tried to get out early, and it was
almost got away.
Yeah, almost got away, but there was a couple of bad timings there. Him, first of all, holding that angle for so long, and then giving it up right before Magic shows face, and then after that, dropping the smoke and then leaving while the smoke was still up in a situation where they were totally intending on going B. So bad read on the feeling of the round for Astralis. They definitely want to go B, and I think his initial assumption was correct. If he had trusted that, it probably could have worked out a bit better. But good on Dupree and Magis for being as patient as they did. They stood in front of the counter flashes, they waited, they came out afterwards, and then all the kills went their way. The CTs had more than enough manpower to work with. That was not the issue. It just came down to individual decision-making and timing.
Now it could come down to the fact that they're playing off a disadvantage. It's pistols back around the 2 saved weapons of Team Liquid. Deagle double CZ. Kevlar for Twists. Not even that for Naf or Stewie. Astralis going back towards this B site. Seems to be their primary target so far at the gates. Nice wall damage. My goodness. Nafly nearly killed from this, but he'll still have a chance with that Deagle.
Truly lucky to be alive in that situation. 2 players left on the B site. Equally dangerous places to go if you're Astralis. Nitro's here retaining the op on that side of the map, and you can tell the bomb kind of equidistant from all of the Ts that they don't have an intention of picking a site right away. Instead, they'll let the clock bleed down, try to get some more information if it's there, and there's potential for maybe Glaive to get opt, but that kill is going to stir up the CTs quite drastically.
A little bit of transition here to this A site. Glaive rounds that corner. He's in a world of hurt, but will be caught regardless. Comes out from the alternate entrance. And it's Dupree to activate down towards the B site. Now Elige is looking to make a play as he contests connector. This is going to allow for Nitro and Twist to go down from the A site towards B. But when that door gets swung wide, Astralis will know there's a man hot on their heels. Sound cues there for them, and Device nails the headshot. Excellently done. Once more, pushing Team Liquid into a disadvantageous 2v4 with the plant on B. This is a spitting image as to what we saw in the previous round.
Oh, definitely.
And the result, just like Inferno, is a 5-0 start for Astralis.
Yeah.
On fire as fast as can be.
Absolutely. It looks like Astralis are just a little bit sharper, like at every moment, right? They seemed a little bit more prepared. They seemed a little bit more deliberate at this moment. It's not looking like Dust 2 for me, and I'm not sure why. Again, a map they left in them. They left here. They could have ended up on Dust 2 if they wanted to. They could have picked Mirage and floated it, almost certainly been able to play Dust 2 and ended on that map. But maybe they were more confident about getting here in the first place with that first. But, you know, Overpass is a map they're familiar with, a map that, again, as you mentioned, we're able to take in a grand final versus Astralis in the past. But now is a map that clearly, and this is also, you know, not to discount Astralis, a map that for them was one of the hallmarks of their rise. You know, was one of the maps that was like, all right, now they're becoming the best in the world. They've got Overpass in spades. This was one of the original first maps that they were really good at, and then that map pool started to develop, and then Overpass got almost like left to the wayside somewhat, but actually now is ironically played more than ever because of the way that the bans go on their other two best maps. So 5 in a row here for Astralis. Full on buy, 2 ops in play, Stewie and Nitro.
Oh, that was a chance. Glaive, he's not going to be timid at all. Not even going to play around with the timing. Just continues to hold W, trucks along to the top of the washrooms.
See how you like kind of create this whirlpool effect. You run by them at long, and suddenly the CTs have to react from within this like fishbowl area that is the bathroom.
And they have to give up all the map control that they didn't want to give away for free. You know, the reason you go for party early is to try and delay Astralis in taking the long section of the map and taking connector and whatnot, but no, they're at the depths of the bathrooms just like they were in the round prior, and all because Glaive sprints past. The 100-meter dash.
And that's not something you can simply react to and not make up for it in some other aspect, but it doesn't seem like they're getting friendly on short B or outside monster as well. It's a lesser push spot, sure, but you've got to do something. Nitro here, spotting the left side of bathrooms. Bomb trades hands. It's gonna be a full exec, and it seems like they're gonna commit to it as well. What's the response gonna be for Liquid?
Looks like they're gonna put Nitro inside of the smokes. Got another man here with him, that's Elige floating around the dumpster, but I mean, this A site is just blanketed in these smoke grenades. Still, vision is to be had, but Nitro just caught awkwardly kind of hopping around on Optimus Prime. Now Elige will take his place, stands near in the corpse, no plant just yet, but the T's can't push past Dicebox. And oh my goodness, Elige almost lines up so many bodies. Here comes Twist with another kill, and Napfly's close, skewers the head of the first, nearly gets the next one, but it's Astralis with another round 1. Back and forth engagement there on the bomb site.
It got a little messy, honestly. At the end, they almost cleaned it up. The Twist gets that kill, the round is on for sure, but it does come down to the fact that Nitro threw a beautiful smoke. That was it was timed perfectly with the smokes that Astralis threw, meaning that once his smoke is up, so are theirs. But he doesn't trust it. He stands in their smoke on the edge of the truck, misses his jump a little bit, and then gets killed in transition. If he had held there in that spot and trusted his teammates to help him, as again, his and their smokes dissipated at the same time, and they could have just been comfortable. But instead, it looked like he felt like he was playing for himself, which is not right. He should have never been there if that were the case. 6-0 start, you know, this is stuff we expected to see on Inferno, not on Overpass. It will take more than just like a small comeback at this point. They got to get their head in the game. Confidence needs to be right. They've got to have trust.
ADR near non-existent.
Yeah, and NAF is somehow at 123 while everybody else has got failing grades. Pretty ridiculous stuff.
Here we go, though. Another buyback at the least for Liquid. Full round loss in effect. Got Glaive aggressively positioning himself on short, trying to get eyes into the B-bomb site. Oh, babe. Oh, I was going to say oh, baby, but, you know, that's a little personal. Dupree. Headshot on the retreat. He didn't want that fight. He didn't want to go down in that instance. He just wanted to get away with his life. He can't even have that. Zipex finds timing out Monster as well, just continuing to clear out this B site with not even breaking a sweat so far.
They are absolutely getting mauled at the moment. I mean, if this B site is just getting torn apart, player by player. From there, there's an out with the short play, but then at Monster as well. Seems like communication is slipping, and they've got to really bring this back.
If they push forward now, that's the best chance they have of winning the round. Because they have a flank coming in from behind, but not even. Not even. They both get gunned down by Magisk. Double taps just to be safe. And Astralis move on to 7-0.
Push the aggression. You've been here before. You've been so good. They look super focused right now. It seems like they can get away with anything. And so, you know, and the other cool part is we did see a full A exec that they attempted and were successful in winning as well. So it feels like they're going to be a little bit more dynamic than they normally are, I suppose. They do a bully and abuse B quite often. Not to say they don't have any A stuff, but it's just a site that they have more of an affinity for. Device just in between two Molotovs at the moment as it tries to get out to a default. The CTs have pushed up aggressively. It's always good to seek out these aggressive options, and unfortunately for them, it's only with pistols.
And a couple grenades. That's responsible for dropping Device down to 15. But I mean, Astralis, they're not going to linger. They're just going to immediately head the other direction, challenge the B bomb site, of which is nearly unoccupied. Nitro has just fallen down from heaven, and Stewie plays back by Graffiti. The Team Liquid players that were aggressive on A are doubling back to their spawn and hoping to get into position in time. But it was with pistols that Liquid kicked off their somewhat of a comeback on Inferno. Can they do it yet again? Twists and Nitro have picked up kills apiece, but it seems to be falling short. It's at this point their luck goes dry. The damage so substantial. 30 health between Magisk and Device. Nafly's Deagle will have to be magical if he's going to pull out this 1v3.
This isn't a rivalry. You know what? This is a rivalry if they lose. But if they don't lose, if they lose with no integrity, if they lose this map and get stomped,
right?
And what is that? You know, it only confirms people's suspicions and what they already are. It's Liquid who have the thing to prove. It's not Astralis.
Yeah. And I think that, I believe it was Maniac who said this earlier this weekend, and this it's just resonating with me because I feel like it's so true. This is the statement you can make after seeing Astralis this weekend. They flex, but they don't break.
For sure.
So,
very good point.
Same instance. You know, you've got that Dust 2 victory to begin the series. I don't know how much momentum is going to make a difference, but in the iBuyPower Masters, we had the first map picked up by Astralis, map 2 won by Liquid, and then they used that to 16-11, both the second and third map. We have a very convincing, an almost disabling Inferno loss in the middle of all this, and an Astralis that has not cooled down at all. You know, they are still quite literally on fire.
Absolutely. So here we have it, another buy-up, 2 ops in play. 3 Augs this time. Liquid can use one of those aggressive options like they did on that eco previously. Getting towards party control, getting up towards Fountain. It's a bit risky, something you should probably do like maybe 3 times a half, if that. But something that you absolutely need to test. Interesting to have Nitro jump up on the garbage, but here, just to spot the crossed along, a position that Glaive got away with earlier. And Elijah's here also to meet him halfway. Maybe attention gets taken away, and then he comes in for the final blow.
But as those players fall off party, you'll see Elijah feels the need to do so too. Nitro smoked off. He's lost all his lines of vision. I mean, Astralis have been so successful in pushing Team Liquid back without having to necessarily kill them.
Yeah, look how carefully they position themselves just on the mini-map, staying side by side, so they never really have to worry about someone's back. Someone never overextends at a different time. They're taking bathrooms control meticulously here, working together as a unit. Leash, a tick of the molly damage is just enough to alarm Glaive. And Glaive goes ahead and takes him for free. Not even a chance to shoot while standing still.
The beauty of that, Glaive puts the molly to the left and sprays through smoke so that if Elijah had run forward, like you see, he goes right into a spray down of bullets. So just predicted the aggression. Puts this back into even ground. 4 versus 4 once more. Astralis going to be emphasizing Monster on this B push. 30 seconds to do so. And we've had Team Liquid patiently sitting in this bomb site since the beginning of the round. They deterred them from A successfully. Now it's up to the B hold to come through, and oh, has it ever. 4 kills immediately between Twists and Stewie. That's what they needed to get on the board. Finally, their first round is up there.
We'll have at it then. They do it. It isn't versus the maximum amount of utility like we're used to seeing Astralis come at B with, you know, full force, set, execute, lots of flashes. Instead, it's this slow pour. It's a slow pour led by one player, initiated by one, followed up by 3 more, and they stand strong. The first kill goes their way. Every other kill goes in tandem with Stewie, then Twist, and back. It works out beautifully, exactly how a hold should look. And it'll be interesting to see what now is the play for Astralis. Or like, this is almost a bonus for them. They get to see like, oh, what can Liquid stop, right? They can get experimental, and that's what we saw. Are they going to try it again? Probably not the same thing. So what's the variation they'll employ, and how will Liquid deal with it? It's a pause called at the moment, so they can kind of go back to the black book and see exactly what's happening. It's actually once again Dupree's mouse, actually. So yeah, less climactic to be honest, but he's got to get that replaced, fixed, and sorted. There's a lot of data to look at in the match so far. I think the part of it is you just see a lack of stability from Liquid. You see a lack of confidence in their own play and positions. You see just like not a lack of attentiveness, but trust in their teammates. You know, thinking about Nitro's round, thinking about Stewie kind of playing for himself, moving off the barrels, thinking about Nitro holding an angle, throwing a great smoke in a perfect position, and then everybody thinking when they're seeing that, like, perfect, just stay there.
Yeah.
You know, but then moving, not trusting his teammates. And you have to wonder, why is that all falling apart? Is that because of the thought of, or just thinking about Inferno? Is it because they were actually very confident moving into this best of 3, and as soon as things started to not go their way and they thought about doing a repeat performance, that the pressure mounted and became too great? It's impossible for us to say from the outside. All we can see is how they're reacting.
Yep.
And it should be worrying, and the scoreline represents it. 8-1 right now for Astralis. Keeping spirits high is going to be extremely important.
You just want to stay focused. You know, you finally get around on the board.
Yeah.
Tech pause follows suit. We're back into the game. Let's do this. Those 2 snipers that were a key piece of Liquid's success in the previous round, still a part of the puzzle here in number 10. This half is not too far gone, but Liquid, they can't just, you know, fizzle out and get 3 or 4. You know, I want a convincing turnaround here and now.
No, extra carbonation in the Liquid, you know? I want them to be fizzier than ever. So, again, they're looking for the 2 in a row. Just before that pause, Hop shot goes wide, and Elige can't get away with that. He does survive with health, trades off to Nitro, so it was just a spawn-based play. So what's the readjustment? Sometimes teams will go for these aggressive options, but don't have a fallback plan. Here, Elige tries to make his way to long, but the flash is too perfect. It's almost 4 seconds that he's just sitting there, completely white. Now, Nitro, can he make up for it? He gets
first one, but Magisk there trades straight away. And that's just, you know, evidence of Astralis' positioning. The trade frag potential, side-by-side play. Continuous pressure towards this A site.
Yeah, they've opened the floodgates, right? They know the 2 forward A players, the most difficult to find and hardest to kill and most dangerous and round-destroying players are gone. Going to the site, you've got a dice box. You've got Optimus, you've got Bank. These spots suck. They're happy to come into this.
100%, especially when they've got utility coupled with it. They just put flames all over the place. Smoke at the feet of Twist gives him an angle to work with. That's his own flash high. Naf gets a kill and matches blind, but how much more? 2 versus 2, 30 seconds up, and both the CTs shoulder to shoulder towards dumpster now. Twist with another kill. Almost gets it done, but trade frags slightly to the favor of Astralis. Only 1 survivor in the form of Device, and he'll happily give Astralis 9.
In a very similar version of Counter-Strike, very close to this one, that would have been a game-destroying round, right?
Correct.
1-9 or 1-8, excuse me.
Yep.
The reset, the double eco on top of this, 3 for 1 round. So you know, I guess it keeps a lifeblood in Liquid that they need. And the comeback mechanic might help them out, but honestly, their problems are far greater than that. That was another close shave. It was close. But their problem started halfway through that round, and now it's a fast B play they've got to defend against.
Yeah, they're just going to charge inwards. Stewie's good for 2, but both him and Twist do fall, and then Nafly fumbles. Tries to get into the equation by pushing through short. He's caught off by Glaive. Bomb plant in the midst. Nitro and Elige rotating down from the A site. Got Liquid at a massive disadvantage. smoke refurbished in heaven. Lige has to activate. Comes off graffiti. Needs to clear close because that's where Xyp9x is at. He even has a teammate to distract. The shadow gives way. Makes it all the easier for Xyp to go ham. Hammers down the final 2 frags and gives Astralis double digits. 10-1 to the T side. This is world-class Counter-Strike.
Absolutely. I mean, it was simple B rush, you know. They got in fast, they stayed together. They made sure to never stop. They, I think, abused the fact that Liquid might be hoping they'd have time to set up and think about how to react. Just got in front of all of that and knew that Liquid, because they lost that round, might be low on some nades. So if you're going to pepper in a monster rush, that'll be the round to do it. Perfect situation for them to go for it, and they end up following through. Ideally, and now it's a pistol round. It's somewhat of a half buy. Some nade damage goes both ways. The T's have made a lot of presence, but the CTs have also made their own noise.
And they know this player got run boosted over. Xyp9x ready for it. Easy pinch as Astralis come flying up short. Easy round, seeing as Liquid plays off sidearms only. Not even finding a single kill. This 3-man squad will work their way towards connector, where Astralis will be happy to duel. Come fight. What's wild as well is that when we had Liquid pick up Overpass, you know, in the series that they won it, it was off of 10 CT rounds to close the game.
Right.
You know, they played 12 CT rounds, Liquid, and they won 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other way around here.
Yeah, no, definitely their good side.
Meant to be, at least.
And it's not like Astralis are going to be unhappy to play CT either. Round 12 comes to a close. Astralis 5 alive on the anti-eco. 3 players save these upgraded pistols for whatever that's worth. Liquid don't care. They're going to be looking to put rounds on the board, period. There's nothing else in store for them that's going to merit any kind of happiness apart from simply winning rounds at this point. So good utility damage. Oh, like a nice play, a nice 2K, a cool deagle shot. Who cares? None of that matters. They'll at least have better guns here to support them in that endeavor. They can do 2 ops again. I can think of like a multitude of CT aggressive options that they could probably use. Like one of those is just a short push that they could use to defend against a monster rush, for example. You know, mulling the short tunnel, flashing off of the B post, and then peeking in front of it to try to get that kill. And then if it is a monster rush, to be able to sit there, hold for rotates down the stairs, have them escorted out of the door, and just be fast to be able to get back into the site, because it feels like their B holds fall apart. So maybe try fighting from a periphery, you know, instead of fighting from within the site, dedicating players to the site. Think about a retake. It's especially strong when you hold one of the best after plant spots, which is short B. And apart from that, again, working on Fountain. They tried it. It didn't work out so well. There's still new looks they could give it, but anything else to keep it fresh and aggressive.
Long seems to be their target this round, but how much further do they go? I mean, there's already pressure, heavy pressure, being applied to the bathrooms, and yet still Liquid have not moved off long. Nobody's coming to help out this one single player in Nafly. So he feels the heat, literally. Fire at his feet, and a bullet between the eyes opens up this A site. At this point, finally, Liquid have to give up their long positioning. Lige doubling back as Twists catches a kill on B. But does he anticipate 2 more players, bomb included? No. Blindsided by Magisk, who creates space to walk up, but Stewie, well, he topples him down. And a Molotov prevents any more hyper-aggression here from Stu. Rotates all over the place. Not only a Lige coming down from CT spawn, but we've got Nitro behind the terrorists, and then we have Dupree behind the CT. So 2 flanks to activate, one of which unsuccessful. Astralis catches eyes behind, leaves Dupree to do work, and should very well be giving Astralis a 12th round.
Yeah, you would definitely think so. It's no man's land for the CTs, and they are so unaware of the potential threat for this big rotate to come through. 29 seconds as the bomb is making its way over. Dupree can now release his utility, take control of one of the choke points, and force his CTs to respond. He doesn't have to make any more movements beyond this. Lige won't walk into his crosshair, but also get the better of him. The AUG doing him much of a favor. Leaving Stewie with an op and CT spawn. Lige quite low, but still capable. And there is a piece of utility there in the form of a smoke in Lige's hands, but no kit. No no kit.
That just spells disaster. Device and Zipex both ready. Scopes up. Prepared. There's the first one. Connects immediately. Elige, nice little flick. A slight readjustment gets the kill, but a slight bit of time is all he had left. So no defuse, as said. That kit, a very real issue.
Yeah, really nicely played from Device. Easy shot for him. Makes it look so simple, and that's honestly part of the reason he doesn't get the respect he deserves. You know, people, it's not as if he's like underappreciated in some extent, but for how good he is, how much impact he is, how many accolades he has, like, in a sense, he is, right? He just he's overshadowed, obviously, because his teammates are so good, and that's the focal point of the annoying conversation all the time. But clearly, I mean, there's nobody in the driver's seat with the op that's more capable than him for his team, right? That's not, you can't just replace him with some other person, and I think that's the most important part to remember. Though, even though some would argue that, sounds ridiculous to me. It's a round now where Elige at least hangs on to that AUG. But if we look at the last few moments of that post plant, they threw a smoke down, and then they had the two players come in, Elige and Stewie. They didn't have time to defuse, even when that smoke went down.
You're
literally
right.
no point in even Stewie dying. So at some point, they just are not talking to each other, or there's this like despondent in some way. But there appears to be kind of a gap in that. And maybe it's, I mean, you can't even blame a team for being tilted or feeling kind of lost in a score line like this. But ultimately, that's just another bad sign to tally on with the other ones that we've seen so far.
Astralis just making them squirm at the moment. You can see Liquid trying to shift up their setup within B. Very much the target of Astralis here in the 14th round. Taking their time to pull the trigger on this one. Potential for a flank is there. Dupree knows it. He's that sole connector player. The entirety of Astralis, other than him, are here on Monster. The utility flies over, the push begins. Up close, we'll have the pistols. Nitro first to fall, matches with a team kill, but it's okay because the kill feed's just entirely filled with Astralis through and through. Stu, up close, but not yet gonna have an angle. Could activate now with Elige in unison. However, it is just Elige left over. He has dropped bomb, 10 seconds up, but Astralis continue and continue and continue to just outclass Liquid here on Overpass. 13-1. I mean, Mohan, give him a chance.
What other way is there to look at it? I mean, they're just feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. You know, there's just no chance.
Getting some kind of sick pleasure out of that.
Yeah, it's like watching a car crash. I mean, and you know,
you just can't look away.
Yeah, you can't look away. And you know, there's still a whole second half. The problem is just like everything in terms of results is counting against them. Never had a scoreline this big to come back against. The last map of a final. The fact that Liquid's CT side was their good side. The fact that the Astralis are going to love to play their CT side. It'll take more than a miracle. And also an opening kill in the last round of a half. So looking for two now are Liquid to at least retain some dignity. Opening kill goes their way, but that just pushes Zipex into just an accelerated execute on the B site. Smoke goes down, Stewie's in the back of pit. They pretty much know exactly where each other are. It's just a matter of can they do anything about it. And who's here to help? It's Elige.
So far, Liquid still stand tall, but down goes Stewie. Collapses inside the water. Elige charging forward with a teammate just by his side. That is going to be Twists working with him, and both of which cleared out by Glaive and Dupree. Together, they've got this round through and through, but there's a flank from Nitro, a big flank from Nitro. Bomb's not planted, and Glaive's made a lot of sound, so that's an easy read. Now the bomb falls into his lap, and he has a massive health advantage. Doubling the rounds to 2 doesn't seem like a big deal, but it gives them that much more space to wiggle with. It's not over, though.
Interesting. Just expelling a lot of the ammo there, assuming he's not going to get peeked. This angle will be crept upon, and will the shoulder peek be good enough? It is! He does get the second round, and that's something. You know, that is something.
Something more than nothing. 2 rounds for Liquid on a CT side that they were meant to take control of. But I feel like they couldn't even get their hands on Astralis. No. They came flying out of the gates on that T side, and it was dynamic. You know, it started with a bunch of B hits. We had these full set-piece smoke executes on A. And mid-rounds over and over where Astralis just seemed to outclass them. So Liquid, they will be switching over to the offense, but they will be switching over with a limp and a daunting task ahead. They sure as hell need this pistol.
Let's see what they decide to do for this pistol. The final pistol of the series here at Blast Sao Paulo. They've got the first blast of 2019, and it has been a stellar one so far, and a stellar shot from Zipix, a two-piece combined with Device's headshot and also the rotate in. 3 players in the site to all be there as second and third tier lines of defense.
14th round for Astralis. You'd think Nitro could get pressured, and Astralis, they're not going to let off this pedal. They are charging through the walls.
And just to reiterate what Sponge said, you know, if there is another year of Astralis as the best team in the world and no one can keep up, good.
Yeah.
If that team can exist, then that team should exist.
Absolutely. Let this be the testament that is Astralis. Not just a Counter-Strike team, but a Counter-Strike project, and a project that has worked so well. 2 Blast Pro Series championships in their back pocket during 2018, looking to kick off a hell of a circuit this year with a win as well, and a convincing one at that. 2 scouts and upgraded pistols for Liquid to try and get something rolling. But it just doesn't seem to be piecing itself together. Astralis will give them nothing to work with. In fact, they'll take away the little that they have. Already, a T hits the dirt, and now a second on top of it.
Dupree looking for an enemy, and he'll find one. An instant dink as the MP9 rides up his body. Dominating spray from him, and that finds a small pixel to work with. We'll have to zoom in a bit further, but that's not enough versus Yaga Magisk. Nitro will come in finally, but now is left in a 1v4, and the MP9 rings off for one of the last times potentially in this game. It's match points, and Astralis are up 15-2.
13 map, match, and championship points here in Brazil. I mean, again, they bend, but they don't break. Astralis off the back of a map 1 loss. Keep it composed and keep it convincing. That's what you like to see. Team Liquid, just deflated, dilapidated at this point. With some upgraded pistols and utility, they'll try what they can, but they have been out of this map, they've been out of this series since we begun Inferno. Masterclass performance from the Danes. Possibly one last round to stick a fork in it. There's the first one. And disadvantage to even play off of. I mean, if you could have anything going for you, there's nothing at all.
We'll take one last stand here on short B. Little utility, upgraded pistols. Got presence in stairs, one outside monster, but there's not a push to come their way. No, they'll have to force their way in with CTs who are prepared.
This one position behind the sandbags could catch them off guard. Yes, ooh, almost. Elige nearly doubling down onto Dupree. You got that last bit of utility chucked up to Dover. Dupree looks to lock down the defense. Zipex spraying the FAMAS, catches 2 bodies. It is just Naf and Naf alone, and down he goes. There you have it, folks. Astralis 16-2, an overpass victory in the most convincing of fashions, and a tournament victory in